Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. We're doing a special edition of the podcast for a stakes-laden card to start the winter-spring meet at Santa Anita. The day after Christmas features 3 graded stakes races, 2 of them grade 1. So we'll be back Saturday with our regular podcast of stakes races around the country. But we wanted to take a look at these 3 for if you got that Christmas money burning a hole in your pocket, you can parlay it with some good wagering at Santa Anita. And Jim, will start with one of the 2 grade 1s. 3-year-old fillies get to go 7 furlongs in the La Brea. And I would imagine Sweet Lulu will go favorite here. Who did you land on?
I would imagine she would be. She's perfectly drawn inside. She was no match for Groupie Doll in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, but she set really tough fractions. She was 44 for the half, 108 for the 6 furlongs, and only got beat by 5 lengths by the best sprinter in the country. So I think that drawn on the inside, she has the best speed, and I think she's a deserving favorite here. My happy face is my second choice was Rosario up. They finished just a neck apart in the test at Saratoga, and 7 furlongs is a good distance for my happy face, but I just don't think that she can close the ground without somebody really challenging Sweet Lulu. And the other horse that I like to hear, Executive Privilege, Baffert was going to ship her east and decided not to, so had a little rest since October, and she may need one, but I think she can probably get up for a piece of it. But Sweet Lulu is my choice here.
I ended up taking my happy face, and I would just do an exacta box with her and Sweet Lulu. But I always like horses that have some back class and then are turning back to 7 furlongs from longer races, which my happy face fits in both categories. Then you add in Rosario. So to get a little better price, that was enough to intrigue me. But basically an exacta box on those 2 would be the play for me. 7th race, the Grade 2 Sir Beaufort. It's 3-year-olds, restricted to 3-year-olds at a mile on the turf. And you've got a horse that ran in the Breeders' Cup Mile, no jet lag in here. That's who I ended up landing on. That 105 buyer on October 5th would certainly be good enough to win this. So was that a fluke? Because he regressed from it in the Breeders' Cup Mile, but thought maybe he was a little too close to a really fast pace in the Breeders' Cup race. Trainer does real well, a short layoff. So I'm going to take a shot that no jet lag can get back to that buyer in October. If that turns out to be a fluke, then this is wide open. So no jet lag for me, and I would use him with Gervino, the 6, the 9, Tom's Tribute, who's moving up in class just a bit, but is really in good form. And then Sea Sage is a horse I've been intrigued with since he came over from France. Was bet first time out in the States, didn't fire. And maybe with a layoff, maybe can get this one back to its best form. But no jet lag's the pick for me. What about you?
I agree. It's funny, you look at these European horses that don't really do much. I mean, the horse did well at the beginning of his career in Great Britain, but didn't do very well the last couple races. Comes over here and wins right off the bat. Does the 105 at Santa Anita, which is very important, and then came back and only got beat by 6 lengths by Wise Dan, which is not exactly getting embarrassed. So I think the 91 buyer in the Breeders' Cup Mile is probably a little better race than it looks like. When you regress from 105 to 91, but you're racing against the best turf miler in the country, I don't think that's any embarrassment. So I would take no jet lag, and I would probably single him in the late pick 4 here. Tom's Tribute takes a big step up in class, 2 for 2 at Santa Anita, but a maiden race. And I'm sorry, I got the wrong horse. Educated Guess was my 3rd horse, who only had a maiden 20 and then an allowance race at Betfair Hollywood. But I like that horse to finish 3rd, and Tom's Tribute is my 2nd choice, coming off a $72,000 race at Santa Anita. Big step up in class, but might have a chance to run behind no jet lag. But no jet lag is definitely my choice in this race.
One more Grade 1. It's the Malibu for 3-year-olds, for the boys, 7 furlongs. And you got a mix here of horses that have some back class that are running graded company, and then some horses that are coming off nice allowance wins or impressive maiden wins. Where did you go here?
Well, the very first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to single no jet lag, but I'm going to take all in the pick 4 here because I went through here and I could only toss maybe 2 horses. You can make a case for every horse in here if they run their best race, except I don't think Syndicated can win from the inside. But the other horses all have a triple-digit buyer. They've all run fairly well at different distances, different places, or they've got a potential. Like Demonic has only run twice and got an 88 and a 92, so you got a lot of upside. So first of all, I would use all in the pick four, and then I would look at the race from a betting standpoint and take the best price of the horses who have a chance. And I think that horse may be our double play on the outside. For some reason, they threw him in the Clark handicap. Didn't want him part of a mile and an eighth, but he set a nice pace to set it up for the closers. And going back 2 races to Churchill's Downs $80,000 allowance race, ran a 103 buyer in the slop at 7.5 furlongs, so you all like the distance. He's been to Oakland, Keeneland, Churchill, Prairie Meadows, and now they're trying the West Coast. So I think you get a price on this horse because nobody knows how he's going to run out there. But Flashback, if you put a gun to my head and said pick one horse, I'd say Flashback, the most consistent of all of them at Santa Anita, 4-4 in the exacta there. The other horse kind of intrigues me if he comes off this race at Fairgrounds and ships across the country in good shape as Central Banker. He was really all out, should have won that race at Fairgrounds on Thanksgiving Day. But I think you can make a case for many, many horses in here. Flashback, just maybe our double play is the long shot.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking of a price in here. I wonder if this horse by Chad Brown, Bakken, will get a lot of money, and I hope so because I would bet against that one. Just two races, both impressive wins, but now he's never been beyond 6 furlongs. And if they bet him off those 2 nice figure wins, then I think he'll be a very vulnerable favorite. I ended up taking another inexperienced horse, but at least I think you'd get a good price, and it's Demonic because there's a ton of speed in here, so I think somebody coming from off of it wins. This horse won its debut at 7 furlongs last winter with an 88 buyer, which is real impressive. Off for a long time, came back with a better buyer, but ran in the middle of the pack. And now Sadler puts him in a grade 1, so a really bold move by a sharp trainer. So that's intriguing to me for a good price. So I'm going to take a shot with Demonic. Use him with Central Banker. I think you're right on with him being dangerous. Flashback I would have to use with Demonic. Z-Watt, since he beat Flashback last time. And then I think you talked me into our double play. I'd include him in there too and key it all around Demonic, or maybe if you can afford it, just do a 4 or 5 horse exacta box and using those because I think with all the speed in here and how evenly matched it is, I think you got a chance to hit a nice payoff if you can be right in the exacta.
Yeah, it's a great betting race. This is the best betting race of the 3.
All right. Well, it's a good way to get out Keeneland Simulcasting or through KeenelandSelect.com and have some fun the day after Christmas playing some really good racing out at Santa Anita. Reminder, we'll be back for our regular Saturday edition of the In the Money podcast right here at KeenelandSelect.com.